and welcome to Wheelnerds. This is episode 215. I'm Todd.
And I'm Chuck.
We're going to be talking about motorcycles.
My mind is an utter blank at the moment.
Really? So, status quo.
What?
I like to think when I look at Chuck and he's sitting there staring back at me across the microphones that I can hear a dial tone very faintly coming out of his ears.
You've been talking to my wife.
Millennials, a dial tone is a noise that a phone made before we had cell phones.
Oh. My daughter knows what a rotary phone is.
Really?
She knows how to use it.
Does she know how to take a rotary phone and install a Raspberry Pi in it and use it like a real phone?
No.
Because that would be fucking cool.
Can you?
Yeah.
Really?
It's not very hard.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've been doing a lot of stuff with Pis.
I've been doing a lot of things with Pis. Like kids have a toy that breaks, and I'm like, well, let's just take this apart. And they're like, but. And I'm like, shh, it's too fun.
Too late putting brains into it.
Now it has brains, and it has its own webpage that it broadcasts.
Is that a mouse brain, Daddy?
Shh. Didn't think Daddy got rid of the rats that were eating from the bird feeder humanely, did you?
Don't remind it about its past life.
Never call it rat, and never show it cheese.
It's been getting warmer in Utah.
I know. I only have to turn my heat up to 70% most days.
Even though we just had a blizzard.
Yeah, and
2 days ago.
Dude, I taught 2 freaking classes in the snow. What the fuck?
BRCs?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was actually the same BRC across 2 weekends, and I'm like, perhaps it'll be nicer next weekend. Next weekend comes, the snow is still going sideways. I'm like, don't go into that corner of the range.
What do you guys do in the snow?
Well, the range was actually mostly dry, except for the place where it had drifted behind the gutter on one side.
Okay.
So I basically moved all the stuff on that side to one side.
Okay.
Because the other side was nice and dry. I mean, it was cold, but it was dry and otherwise pretty sticky. That was cool.
Yeah, when you're signing up for February, you expect cold.
Yeah, you expect
have to.
a certain amount. Yeah.
Do you guys cancel on weather, or
we will in extreme cases?
Or just go indoors?
It depends on the students and what it is. In my case, especially for the second day, they were there for the first and they were cold and we cut it off after. We ended up having to do it was a half day and then 3/4 of a day together to make it all fit.
Okay.
But for the first one, we had to stop early because it was getting too cold.
Okay.
It was they were shivering. And we're like, nope. This is not conducive to learning or safety. This stops now.
Yeah. If you're cold and miserable, you're not going to learn.
No, exactly. And it's lame and nobody has fun with it. And what the hell's the point?
Right.
The second day, huge credit to my students. They all showed up with proper layers and gear, and they're like, "Let's do this thing."
Like they live in Utah.
Yeah, exactly. I was pleasantly surprised because especially in the shoulder seasons, you're like, okay, it's going to be cold, it's going to be wet. And I know Sarah tells this on the phone, it's going to be cold and wet, so bring something just in case. And they're like, yeah. And they show up with a fucking cotton hoodie.
I brought my extra Corona tank top.
Yes, this is the double tank top. This is double thick cotton. Tank tops are not approved wear for an MSF range. But, they'll show up in cotton hoodies and you're like, yeah, that's going to be good for the first 10 minutes. And then not at all. You're not really going to be very happy.
Yeah.
The one dude was so charged. He was, you get the one who, there's always the one who's super into it and he leaves. Comes back the next week with a full set of gear. He's like, I got a whole set of gear. It's so comfy. I'm like, right? Told you.
Nice.
Yeah. That was actually, he tested on Virago. He did okay, not amazing, middle of the road kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He retested on a big bike. He slayed it on the big bike. I'm pretty sure I sold that dude a Savage. He got back. I'm like, yeah. So you like the Savage? He's like, oh my god, I like this so much. I'm like, yeah, I know, your score tells the story, bro. Perfect score.
Wow.
It's damn, dude. You and that thing get along.
Mind meld.
Yeah, the other guy hated it. The other guy's like, this thumper engine. Yeah, but the one dude was like, yep, I got to go find one of these to buy.
He just leaves with that one. See ya.
Can I buy this?
No. Well, too late.
Well, we had his credit card on file.
So he bought it.
But yeah.
So, registering?
Yeah. Did you see this thing I had on the desk here, Chuck? I thought you would be amused by this.
There's a lot of things on your desk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's tons of things.
Oh, the registration sticker.
Yes, this is a registration sticker. Uh-huh. Did you know that you can actually acquire these before the cop pulls you over? That is legal in Utah. You can do that.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, when you get the little thing in the mail, you can actually get your registration then and keep your bike legal, and this is the important bit, through the whole year.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just thought you should know.
Okay.
Just as a matter of interest.
Why is yours sitting on your desk?
That's not on the bike yet.
See, when I get pulled over for that,
Mm-hmm.
mine's in my glove compartment.
Ah. Okay. I don't have a glove compartment on the Bandit.
The cop will be like, why haven't you put that on yet? Reasons?
Well,
Reasons?
you see,
Did you get pulled over without your registration?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I actually don't even have to put it on until the end of the month. But the thing showed up and I was just like, yeah, let's do it so I don't forget.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, that's easy to forget. And the Bandit, of course, is like in March because, I bottom fed it.
So what's that one for?
That's the Bandit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when you get the registration notice for the Suzuki, are you going to cry?
Yes. Long and hard. Big cry.
You just be standing there with one lip kind of twitching and a tear going down here. You're holding the registration.
And then I'm going to get the one for the Bandit. I'm going to be like, $17? Fuck!
At least we don't have to pay for safety anymore. A whole $9.
Yeah.
Thanks, Utah.
Yay. Everything is safe. Hey, the number of tickets they've given out for unsafe cars has gone up.
Yay.
I'm like, so on the one hand, I'm like, yay, they're enforcing it. On the other hand, I'm like, that's the ones they caught.
Yeah. But they're making money.
Oh, boy. I am happy. What will they do with the money, do you suppose, Chuck?
Well, if I have an example of what they're going to do with the money.
Mm-hmm.
1 second.
Yeah.
Just to recap the year.
Mm-hmm.
Gay conversion therapy remains legal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Medicare expansion is stopped.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The voter-approved medical marijuana program is
blocked.
Mm-hmm. Full-strength beer is still illegal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, and this is important,
okay,
premarital sex is one step closer to being legal.
Wow. We're progressive and forward-thinking.
Fingers crossed for the governor to sign.
Wow. Actually, interestingly, there is one thing that I really got my fingers crossed for the governor to sign.
Okay.
Try this one on for size Chuck, who commutes downtown, filtering at stoplights.
That will be cool.
Yeah, you can't lane split like in California, but if it becomes legal, we'll be able to filter up to the front of the line at stoplights, unless we're in a sidecar, in which case we're fucked.
Yeah.
But if I'm on the Vespa,
you just fly the car, you'll be fine.
you just drive the sidecar wheel along people's cars. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that, and you'll be behind me going, pussy. Then you just keep the car up in the air the whole way.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I still have not learned to fly the car at will.
Really?
Yeah, I've never just sat down to try to figure it out. I've done it accidentally or going really hard around turns.
Oh no.
Well, that's how I do it. If I'm trying to do it on purpose, is I look for a really hard turn and do it.
Ah, okay. All right.
I can't just fly.
As opposed to just doing it at obnoxious times. And I'm going to totally hypothetically say, Sarah, earmuffs. If I was to come into the parking lot when I was going to class and Dale and Jason and some dude who I assumed was a new coach were sitting there.
So hypothetical.
Totally hypothetical. In this situation, if I just wanted to start flying the car in the parking lot for no particular reason and flew it all the way to the parking space and then stopped and set it down gently, I'm getting pretty good at it.
So you have any tips?
Well, first thing is make sure that the person who's there is actually another coach and not a student.
Not applicable in my case, but
because
okay.
Dale might get mad. Just hypothetically. On the flip side, though, when you take a sidecar class, they do actually go through, here's how to fly the car at will.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of important not to freak out.
Yeah.
Because if you're flying the car and you stab the front brake or something, you'll tuck the front end and that will go bad.
Okay.
Big goddamn hurry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you'll go way wide or any number of other things, or both.
Yeah.
There's a whole host of bad crap that can happen if you react badly to the situation.
Yeah.
And, reacting well to the situation basically consists of not freaking out and just, setting it gently down and continuing on your way.
This sounds a lot like wheelie class.
Yeah, honestly, I'm sure there's a lot in common. Like the first part of almost any motorcycle technique is this. 1, don't freak out. 2, be smooth. 3, insert actual control input here.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's pretty much all of it, right?
Right. So can you give me some hints for step 3?
Step 3 for getting the car up is understand how your bike comes up.
Uh-huh.
Like, because different bikes with different weight and stuff are going to come up in different ways, and different steering inputs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Start get a big lot and start doing right turns, and start shifting your weight outboard until you get a feel for what it feels like as it comes up.
Okay. And
then work on just holding it up for a minute, and then because as soon as it's up, you're using counter steering effect to hold it up.
Uh-huh.
Same as you would lean on a 2-wheeler. And then you can counter steer it back down gently and see if you can put it down gently.
Okay.
Do that a few times and start to get a feel for it. The other thing you can do, if I was, and what Vernon did and what I do if I was teaching someone sidecar is I would set up basically just a cone in the middle of a big empty space. I would say, turn right around this. Take your ballast out, turn right around this, and then gradually begin to tighten that turn until you find the spot where it comes up.
Okay.
Once you got that, you can control when it's up and keep it up or put it down at will. Now you can start to do crazy bullshit like certain parties who will go unnamed but are me and deliberately shift your weight outboard so you can get it up sooner and earlier and kind of trim where it goes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the extreme cases, if you want to hang your ass off the left side of the seat, you can almost go in a straight line with the car in the air.
Okay.
That freaks people the fuck out.
Right. All right.
Like that one guy who did it for 2 miles behind the Google Maps van. Dude, you rock. The entire sidecar community salutes you, sir. 2 fucking miles.
I still need to take the Christmas lights off my sidecar. It looks kind of trailer parky.
Visibility.
Well, that's true. It is visibility.
No one's looking at your stupid Christmas lights anyway. They're looking at the Ural and they're like, "Oh my god!"
They're goddamn looking at it when I turn the lights on.
Well, okay, yeah, that's fair.
They better be fucking looking at it.
Look at my lights.
Goddamn right.
Blinky, blinky, blink.
Fuck yeah.
What year? What time of year is it? It's always Christmas at Chuck's Ural. Dun, 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 dun.
So I need a speaker.
Yes. I thought that was clear. I thought that was implied.
I need a big old ATV sound system.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's July, fucker.
Dun, dun, dun,
Don't
dun.
care.
Not on this bike, it's not. Dun, dun, dun,
Throw
dun,
fake
dun,
snow
dun.
behind me. Oh, I can put a snow machine in the sidecar.
I see absolutely no world where this is not a brilliant idea.
Oh my god, I could just drive downtown just blowing snow.
You know what you need to do is you need to wait until the bars get out about 1. And you need to drive down a busy street in downtown doing that just to fuck with the drunks. So they're all coming out. They're like, "Oh, bro, I got to get an Uber." And you go by, dun, 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 dun. And they're like, "Whoa,
Santa.
I'm freaking out, man." Yeah.
I just pull up next to him. I'm your Uber. Hop in.
I'm gonna set up with a camera nearby.
Now we see Chuck getting his ass kicked by 3 drunk dudes. I could intervene, but I won't.
But this is good real. This is good stuff.
So we got some ads.
We got ads. To the ads. Let's lead with a Buell.
A 2005 Buell XR9 Firebolt for $1,200.
Okay, I gotta be honest. I really like the Firebolt. Like, I know the Lightning was sort of the
where it went,
standard stable thing.
Yeah,
I really liked the Firebolt.
I like the way the Firebolt looks.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Shit.
Let's read about it. 3,300 miles. It's yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Ran last time I used it, which was last summer. Haven't tried to crank it up since then. Also sold a new battery to a friend.
Huh.
I bought it from someone and never got the title from him.
Huh.
So in other words, I got shitted on?
I think shitted on?
Shitted on. Very strong riding bike. Great for use somewhere where no one will ask you for any paperwork on it. Serious inquiries only. Not stolen.
Will not rob you.
Haven't tried to crank it up since I stole it last summer.
Yeah, and sold the new battery to a friend for drugs.
And by new battery, I mean the battery that was in the bike when I stole
At
it.
the time. Because, sometimes
stole it.
You're trying to get the most money out of a bike.
This bike not eligible for the Wheelnerds not stolen key tag.
Mm-hmm. Nope, I'm afraid it just won't work with it. So there's so much sketchy about this.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's this like slightly too, the picture is clearly taken like a little too close to it.
Uh-huh.
Like in a very small space.
Minimize personal details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then just the idea that they're in like this really small space with it, is the other thing.
Like
this is like an alleyway behind an apartment, or like, between two like industrial buildings where they don't think it'll be found.
Okay.
They disguise it as garbage. and the raccoons come.
The bro drives by it every other week or so.
Thinking like, one of these days,
no one's come to claim that bike yet. It's going to be mine. Fuck yeah.
Interesting. Intriguing.
$1,200.
For a 2005 Thunderbolt, if it had a title, I'd be like, yeah, all right, maybe I'll snag it and, basically ride it until it blows itself to smithereens.
Is that the carp talking?
Oh, that's the carp speaking. Yes. The carp is here. Well, now then, the carp has a new life, which we'll talk about shortly.
Oh, okay.
The carp is now looking around for like, what can I carp and repair and make look nice? Cash flow.
Okay. But we will talk later about possible cash flow. Foreshadowing.
But yeah, this,
it looks pretty.
Especially if it ran, I'd take it for $1,200 if it had a title.
If it had a title.
A heartbeat, yeah. Now, this is the one where the carp would show up in full form with like the hat and everything.
Wait, the carp has a hat?
Carp has a straw hat. Carp always has a straw hat. I don't know why, but the carp has a straw hat.
Is the carp a farmer?
It's hard to say.
Does he have a straw sticking out of his mouth?
The carp is a mystery wrapped in an enigma. The carp appears from the depths below, takes his food and goes, never to be seen again. So if I was carping this bike and knowing full well that it doesn't run and the injectors are fucking clogged, or the fuel delivery system is clogged, I'd be like, what does one of those cost? Double what it costs, and then offer the guy $500 anyway. Knowing that he could argue me up to 6 or 7 and feel pretty good about himself, and I'd still walk away laughing. Because it's a fucking Sportster engine.
Yeah.
This is the easiest damn thing to work on ever. Mm-hmm. This is an 883 with a buell wrapped around it. Mm-hmm. Okay. We could probably figure that one out.
Or could we? Because we've talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the motor's not so hard to work on, but other parts,
who knows,
are harder.
Well, okay, that's probably not going to work. I think it's time for Chunky Trike.
What?
Chunky Trike.
What the fuck is a
Chunky Trike? Chunky Trike.
Jesus.
It's chunky.
Jesus.
It's a trike.
Whoa.
Chunky Trike for sale as advertised. DVLA registered sometime that I can't read because it's English. Bought 3 years ago. New MOT till sometime soon. 1300cc Beetle engine twin carb runs very well. Chrome a bit pitted as they do. Needs a good tune-up.
Is this thing running?
I am a little foggy on that from the description.
Oh man, I love that control panel.
Control panel?
Yeah.
Oh yes. He's taken a piece of steel and put like switches in it and little crappy LEDs for the control lights.
That's amazing.
He's just basically wired the Beetles. And keep in mind that the Beetles, depending on the year of Beetle, the actual dashboard in Beetle pretty much looks like that.
Uh-huh.
It's just literally like a slab of metal with some shit stuck in it.
Yep, and there's the shifter sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
That's all good.
Yep. So this honestly, apart from the fact that it's got the ridiculous name, this looks like a pretty standard Beetle trike.
Uh-huh.
Which is, if you're going to make a trike out of something, a Beetle or Fiero is hard to beat because what do? You put a fucking front on it.
And it holds 2 people.
Yes. One would hope.
Well, yeah, there's 2 seats.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is somebody, I would put this firmly in the very standard area.
2,400 pounds. So that's about
not any bids yet.
2,600 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Chunky Trike.
No.
Chunky Trike. Chunky Trike.
No.
Get me a chunky Trike.
All right, what else we have from UK? A Gilera Cougar 125cc.
I have no earthly idea what that is. This is an interesting trip into a different world.
350 pounds. And in real money, I think that's close to 400.
Yeah, it's like a little over 400.
Yeah. What we got? The Gilera Cougar 125cc Project. The bike does run. Wait, we got to do this with accents.
I can't begin to.
Gilera Cougar 125cc Project. This project does run. Comes with spare engines, one complete and one spares.
This is a terrible accent.
Loads of bits with it that I have to sort out for winning better. No logbook. Sensible offers considered. Collection only. I have no idea what any of those phrases mean. And I don't know what this accent is. It's not good.
You don't have anything to do with it. So I don't know what a Gilera is, to be honest. It kind of looks like a cheesy Chinese shit pile. Project, which is code for is not actually assembled.
Is there?
It seems that no matter what side of the Atlantic you're on, it is not fucking assembled is, quote, project.
Is there tape holding that headlight together?
Yes. Yes, there is. That is indeed the tape that you see on that headlight, which is how you know it's good and fast and cafe and custom.
Yeah, I can see why it doesn't have an MOT.
Yes.
Whatever
Yes.
that is.
I no idea. Motor.
I assume registration of some kind.
Mate.
We
on.
we need
We need English
Charlie.
to English
We need-
translation
we need
here.
Charlie.
Things are pretty dire. Yeah. Sensible offers considered. That's the most English statement ever.
It's Italian.
Oh, okay.
Gilera is an Italian motorcycle.
Gilera. Gilera.
Founded in 1909.
Wow.
Currently owned by Piaggio.
Could be because Piaggio owns everything Italian that is not Ducati.
So this is a real thing.
Jeez. It's no, not molto bene.
It just screams Chinese shitbag.
It does. It does. It's the most Chinese shitbag looking Italian shitbag ever.
But that's
Well, you know, noodles were originally made in China and brought to Italy. So why not shitbag bikes? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, globalization.
And their bikes are for racing.
That looks singularly horrible.
That's yeah.
Wow.
That's a thing.
I live it. My favorite part is the sensible offers considered. I think that is English for don't lowball me, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Serious offers
don't lowball
only.
me, bro.
Serious offers only.
All right.
I don't know what collection only means. All right, what we got?
All right. We have Yamaha RD 125 LC, and we'll get
Okay.
for 1,300 pounds. Here for sale is a Yamaha RD 125 LC drag bike in great condition with rebuilt tuned engine, blah, 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 parts, shifter, etc. steering, a damper card, cutout.
Aprilia forks and wheels.
Mm-hmm. Comes with spare wheels and tires, plus new bars. If you want to go faster, call Stuart on guide.
Wait. Is ready for anybody wanting to start junior drag bike racing. Oh,
Okay.
race bike.
Dad, I want to, well, it's obviously a drag bike. The thing is like 14 feet long.
Wow.
It's 125 cc,
Most of the
7
weight
feet long.
is in that
thing.
plastic.
I think so, or those wheels. This is the long bike.
Why?
Long bike is long.
But
Because junior drag bike.
125 cc. Is that who's riding that? 12-year-old boys?
Maybe someone who's competing in a very specific drag situation.
But if they're any bigger than a 12-year-old boy, that's not going to be an exciting drag race.
Well, and it's exciting because you'll be happier and faster than the other person on the 125 if you're good at it.
Okay.
I mean, this is skill drag racing at this point, right?
That makes one.
You miss a shift, you're fucked. It's over. You are done, son.
That makes one person happy.
Yeah.
But the other 12 people.
I don't. So the other thing I want to point out about this one, that's my favorite thing about it, is this is another one of those ones where the background tells a story. In the background, from this ill-advised drag bike, is an uncertain car with a swooped-up back end under a tarp.
Uh-huh.
If you go to the other picture, you can see what I inevitably knew would happen for this person. It's a fucking Saab 900 with a charger on it to try to get the fucking thing to start. with its stupid ass side battery that you always pinch yourself on trying to reach.
Isn't that its natural
thing.
resting state?
This is the Saab in repose in the background. Hello, I'm a Saab 900. How you doing? I'm broken. When I run, I will be great. Briefly.
I like the paint job on that bike.
Yeah. So it's got a really cool flame paint job, and the swing arm has it too.
Someone had to put together that plastic by hand.
Oh yeah. Someone had a vision for this 125cc drag bike.
Uh-huh.
And they made it happen.
They did it. Yeah.
So if you want
executed.
A little drag bike, it has been executed.
I wonder what speeds they hit in junior drag bike.
Don't know. I'm assuming because you can take a 125 and you can just you can do things to the engine where it will run very fast, very briefly.
Before it explodes?
Yes. So right. In the old Honda Elite 50 world where I used to look at what people would do to them, people were talking about, I can get this thing up to 50. And they're like, great. And they're like, not for long.
And then it explodes.
Then everything goes so. On the other hand, if we don't want to buy one of these shitty bikes, we could rent something nice.
We can rent a nice bike. Okay, we're on with Austin Rothbard. Is that right? Rothbard?
That's right.
Rothbard.
Yeah, Rothbard.
Bardy Bard.
Yeah, you got it.
Of twistedroad.com. He is the founder and CEO. It was essentially an Airbnb for motorcycles.
Are you also the chief cook and bottle washer?
I do it all. Well, you know what? About a month ago, I was able to say I do it all, but in the past month, we've hired a few people, so I don't do it all anymore.
Wow. Yes. Austin, are you the
yes,
man?
Oh my God, I'm already being put on the spot. We are having a lot of fun, and we're building a really good community. And
how many people do you step on daily, Austin? How many hopes and dreams do you shatter?
I'm just shattering them all as I go through this world. Oh man, I'll tell you what. I think there's a good part of timing and luck that goes into all this stuff, and I've got some good years of experience in the corporate world, but I think some of this was just timing, and we're still working on it. We don't have it all figured out yet, but we're working on coming up with a great platform.
Okay, that's a good place to start, actually. Who the fuck are you? And what the fuck gives you the idea to start an Airbnb for motorcycles?
Well, I spent about 20 years in the corporate world. And so I've been really fortunate to have some really good experience. I didn't love it, but I got some great experience. I ran 4 different businesses over the last 10 years. For example, I was the president of Brunswick Billiards. I was the president of the boat company. And these businesses were pretty big. I mean, anywhere between $20 and $500 million in annual sales. Whoa. But I wasn't really fulfilled, and my passion was slowly growing or rapidly growing in motorcycles.
Can we have a job?
Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope so one day.
You want to hire us to be your media men?
Yeah, one day.
We could be spokespeople for the thing.
Spokespeople, yeah.
It's great.
So, I'll tell you what. I was with my wife and kids. We were in Zion and Bryce Canyon out in Utah, which is real beautiful. Yeah. And all I kept saying was, "Man, I wish I had my bike." I literally sat holed up in the room for about 2 hours trying to get a Wi-Fi signal on my laptop, and then trying to find a bike I could rent just to go and explore the area on 2 wheels. And there was nothing, man.
Yeah, so closest speed would be what, Hurricane, where the Harley Davidson is.
Probably that, or Beaver, or way the crap out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we were in the car coming out of the Grand Canyon, and there were a bunch of deer on the side of the road in Buffalo, and I remember saying, Jesus, being on a bike in this situation would be so much different, just so much different. But I couldn't get on. And by the way, if I went down to the closest rental place, which might have been at 60 to 90 miles away, it's pretty limited with the selection. I mean, they only had Harleys, if I remember right.
Yeah,
Harleys. Would you like a Harley?
Style.
How about a Harley? Does that sound cool?
It's in black.
Well,
right. So, I started putting it together. and about 10 months later, we flipped the switch.
Wow. So what was your family's reaction to the, hey, I'm going to quit being a successful businessman and motorcycles?
Well, my wife has always been the most supportive person, and she had seen me be very frustrated in over the course of my career in corporate America. And she's also seen me want to do something on my own and just never have an idea that I thought was good enough to go all out. So she was really supportive of it.
Oh, that's way cool.
This is
I was
kind of
really,
like how I got
really,
my cycle.
really lucky. In fact, my wife came up with the name Twisted Road. So, I mean, she's been really a big part of this.
It's kind of how it goes with the small business, I gather, is it's a family affair, even if it's not really a family business.
Well, you don't realize exactly how much you're working until you have your own business. And the thing is, like, it's just very hard to turn it off. I've always worked a lot in my career, but this is different. Like, this is where you wake up at 2 a.m. because you can't sleep for whatever reason. You're just tossing and turning, or it's too hot or too cold, or any other reason you normally would wake up in the middle of the night. And the first thing you do is you reach for your phone and you check to see if everything's all right with all the riders that are out there, if people are asking us questions through our general mailbox, if people have comments on Instagram or Facebook that need to be responded to. It just doesn't stop.
Wow.
So now, how big is Twisted Road these days? We're just short of 1,200 motorcycles on our site, and we get between 50 and 100 additional bikes every month. Mm-hmm.
So by the end of the year, we'll probably have between 3,000 and 4,000.
Holy shit.
So how widespread is it? Are you kind of focused around population centers, and the further out you go, it gets harder, or is it pretty spread? I mean,
we're for the most part, that's how it works. I mean, but if you go to our website and do a search in any major metro area, you don't even have to type in an area. Just click the search button on the homepage. You'll get a list of bikes, and then there's 2 buttons towards the right middle of the page, and one says list and one says map. If you click the map button, it pulls up a map of the country with all of our bikes locations. So when I say 1,200 bikes, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you pull it out and look at the whole map, it's pretty impressive. We're in almost every state. We're not in North Dakota yet. So if there's anyone listening that lives in North Dakota, just
act now. You can be first on the ground.
You can rent from yourself.
Please.
Oh man.
Get in here.
But yeah. But yeah, we got bikes in Alaska, we got bikes in Hawaii. We always have bikes rented out in Hawaii. It's pretty good market for us.
Yeah, I bet. Because Hawaii, when I rented a bike there, it was exactly as you're describing. You're like, well, do you want a Harley? Yes. How do you feel about black? Right. All right, I guess. I mean,
right. You know what's kind of interesting is that, like, look, I ride a V7, a Moto Guzzi V7 Classic, 2010. It's black. There's nothing really too special about it. It's a nice kind of entry level bike that I just push to its limits. And when I go somewhere, I want something. I'm always trying different bikes, but sometimes I'll see bikes that are listed that I think, man, who would ride that? Like there's a big orange Street Glide we have. I'm like, oh my, with a huge fairing in the front. I'm like, man, who would ride that? I mean, first of all, it's orange, so it's not your standard black. It's harder, I would assume, to get rented out with a unique color. But sure enough, it gets rented, and sure enough, people write incredible reviews on it. So it's I can't run the business like I would want every bike. I just have to say there's a huge population of different riding styles, and we just have to serve them all.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the thing about motorcycles is we're all a little weird. We're just weird in different directions. Yeah.
We got some really cool choppers listed as well. And you're going to see a new website being launched in the next 2 months. And when that goes live, you'll be able to do a sort by riding style. So you'll be able to look at sport bikes and look at those and look at standards or cruisers, venture bikes, and just sort by that way. So it'll be pretty cool.
We're actually both just kind of browsing the site now.
Yep.
And Todd, I think I found one we need to rent.
What's that?
It's a 2007 Kawasaki ZX 1400. Look at that swing arm.
Whoa.
It's like 5 feet long.
Whoa.
Oh, is that in Vegas?
Yeah, that's the Henderson one.
That thing's like longer than
Have you ridden that one?
No, I was just in Vegas. I rented something else, but I saw it as I was looking. I'm like, oh my god, this thing's crazy.
What in the what?
You're gonna be careful on that, right? Yes.
Let me see. I'm gonna try to pull up some other unique bikes. Go to Waukegan, Illinois.
Waukegan, Illinois.
Still on here. Yeah, go to Waukegan. Waukegan, Waukegan, Illinois.
WAU.
Kegan.
Interactive radio. WAU. Keegan.
Okay, so we got a Scrambler. We got an old Goldwing. Scout.
Yeah, keep going. And the bottom left corner, you'll see a 2014 Royal Enfield Continental GT.
Yeah, there it is.
Wow, that's wild.
This is a guy. The builder who built this. The builder who built this is his name is Tony Prust, and he's the owner of Analog Motorcycles in Illinois. He brings bikes to shows all the time, and this is one of those bikes that you look at and you're like, and you notice you're at a moto show, you're at the One, or you're at a moto show, you're at Mama Tried, or any of these, or the hand built. You look at a bike like this and you think, Jesus, I'd never be able to own it, but I'd love to ride that.
So you can show up to a tour on this. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is ready to go.
Now tell me about the bike. Tell me about the bike next to it, because it's this Moto Guzzi V7 Classic. Some guy named Austin is renting it. That thing looks like a heap, man. Like, what happens if I end up renting and I get that thing?
Yeah. No. This thing, a lot of vibration. I'd stay away from it. It was 41 degrees in Chicago today, and I took that damn thing out. So far, I've ridden every month this year in Chicago. Every month. January, February, now I hit March.
I love the price difference per day between those two bikes.
Well, you know
what?
A custom, beautiful bike. And
you can understand that. You can understand that. I mean, one's built by one stock.
Yeah.
Yep.
And one's a unique, one of a kind bike. So.
And one is bike number one on the lot, as it were.
You mean our most popular bike?
Well, yeah. What is the most popular bike you've got?
That really varies by location. So if you go out to like LA, we go through Ducati Scramblers like all the time. We'll have, there's just Scramblers keep getting moved. But if you look in like Denver, Triumph Tigers do well. So a lot of it depends on where you want to rent.
And what the roads are there and like that.
And what the roads are like. Yeah, what the roads are like.
Huh.
Some people have a lot of bikes on the site. Let's go back to LA for a second. Do a search on LA.
LA.
And when you bring it up,
I want to ride with the fancy folks.
All right. You'll see some great bikes here. This first bike is the Ducati Scrambler Classic. That thing gets rented out all the time. Danielle's great. Now click on the second one, the Scrambler Icon, the 2018.
With the fancy.
When you get to that, what I want you to do is click where it says David S. You'll see David's name at the top of the screen on the right. He's the owner.
Yeah.
So click on David S. Ooh. David's got how many bikes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 bikes on our site.
Whoa.
And he's got a full-time job.
Are you a stable enabler?
He's got a stable of bikes he rents out.
Are you the reason why he has so many bikes? Does he just buy bikes to put them on the site?
He bought them to put them on the site.
He
didn't have this many bikes.
He's one of your ringers?
The guy's great. He's responsive. He's just a great guy.
He's got everything.
He's a great guy.
See, this seems like
I
Austin
hate this man so much.
You know what Austin's doing here is Austin is the ultimate enabler. It's like, well, I could get a whole bunch of bikes because I'll just rent them out. I mean, you got to pick a bike, and I'm going to channel my mother, the real estate agent, and be like, well, so when you're picking a bike, you got to make sure you pick one good for the location. You got to make sure it's going to cash flow, right?
Right.
What's the vacancy rate on bikes here? I mean, you got to think of that through. You got to do a little calculations, and calculators come out, or not.
Yeah. The other thing to think about is if you're not going to do it as a business like David, but you just want to have you're thinking, man, my bike doesn't get ridden as much as I'd like. I mean, it does get ridden a lot, but not as often as I'd like. Maybe I'll make some extra cash. There's a lot of guys and gals out there whose significant others don't want them spending more money on the bike.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time we got a rental, we got a rental. The first rentals came in right after we went live. We went live within 24 hours. We had our first 2 bikes rented.
Holy crap.
And after the guy got paid, one of the guys got paid, and he said, and I talked to him about it, and he said, Austin, his name was Luis. Austin, I just went out, I took the money, and I just bought some tools I've wanted for the last 6 months. It's like, oh, it's so great, because here this guy, hasn't had the money to do it, and it's not like it's not a need, but the money goes towards things that you want. Like people don't need that new helmet or need a new pair of bar end mirrors.
Yeah.
They want them, and this gives you some extra spending money. It's really cool.
It's a play check.
Hey, Austin, I just went and bought those tools I wanted. Some rope, a duct tape, taser, ball gag, a shovel.
Yeah.
It's all thanks to you, man. How many of your own bikes are on for rental?
I only own one.
Okay.
So 100% of them.
Okay.
100%.
All right.
100%.
I'm just checking to see if there's any Urals in Salt Lake City.
I think I saw one online.
Not in Salt Lake, I don't think. Are you in Salt Lake City?
Yeah.
You guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck's like, how do I make this Euro cash flow?
Yeah, I got my Ural needs to. Yeah, Belgrade, Montana is all right. I'm putting a Ural online.
It's on.
Yep,
it's go time. Ooh, there's an XR in Boise.
We're not going to Boise right now.
Well, I don't know. In case I was ever in Boise
and stopped
and broke down. What's wrong with
what's kind of cool? I'll tell you something that's really cool about what I'm doing is I get to meet a lot of really cool people in this industry that are doing really neat stuff. Mm-hmm. So like, I met Tony, of course, the guy I just told you about, who's got his bike at Analog. The guy who does Biker Gear Club. Are you familiar with Biker Gear Club?
No.
Mm-mm.
They do a monthly subscription box. So you can spend, I think, $50 a month and you get stuff delivered to your door. You get probably like $80 to $100 worth of gear and goods and hats and t-shirts and tools.
Is there a motorcycle in the box?
Yeah, it would be great if there were.
Yeah.
I bought $100 motorcycles before. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to think. There's a girl there's a seamstress that I met in Salt Lake who does like the most beautiful bike seats. Have you guys heard of Black Stitch Label? Stitch Label.
No, but write that down.
Yeah, Black Stitch Label.
Taking
Black Stitch Label. She does recovering. She does custom seats. She's in the middle of finishing up her website now, but there'll be a whole section on custom.
Bandito.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean seriously. You can get there's some really cool. What she can do on a motorcycle seat is really amazing. She's very talented. So I'm actually thinking about shipping my Guzzi seat out to her and having her recover it and maybe put new foam in. She's really, really amazing.
Oh.
So go to Black Stitch Label.
Yeah, blackstitchlabel.com.
Yeah. I don't know. She's finishing out the motorcycle section, so give it a couple of days. Yeah, there's nothing there. Give it a couple of days.
There are some pretty boots, though, for women. I'm digging the boots. I think that red one would look real nice on me.
Mm-hmm.
What? What?
It's 2019.
I'll tell you what. Go to the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
And if you click the right arrow once or twice, you'll see one of her seats there.
Oh, okay. What the hell is that?
That image.
That purse? Is that a purse?
I don't know. Do you see the one?
I can't take my eyes away from the
I think
merce.
somebody might have snatched up the seat.
No, it's there. Go all the way to the bottom of the. Go to the bottom of the screen.
On the shop page?
No, on the home page.
Oh, on the home.
On the home page.
Okay.
And go to the bottom of the page. And then click the right arrow once or twice.
Oh, there we go.
And you'll see.
There's it.
I mean, how dope is that?
Oh, damn.
That's clean.
Like
black and gold.
Right.
I like it.
So yeah, we're gonna have to get
the black and gold.
Yeah, we gotta get
her on the show.
Yeah,
get her on the show. And there's really cool piping. It's just a beautiful job.
That's cool.
I think what she actually does, like to talk to you about talent, is I think she works doing as a seamstress at a parachute company. So like her skills are like top notch.
Yeah, parachute people don't have a lot of tolerance for seams that rip.
There's like
it's okay. It's just one
zero
seam.
chance. There's like fucking zero chance for error.
But at least they won't complain after.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I have no complaints from users of my stuff.
Hey, go talk about complaints. Though, taking this back to a somewhat serious item, we almost never get any complaints. And when you go through our site and you check out some of the reviews, 97% of them are 5-star.
Wow.
97% of them are 5-star, and they're really thorough and rich content. Like, people are just having a blast on our bikes. It's really cool.
How involved is Twisted Road in the interaction between the renter and the rentee?
This is a great question. We are extremely involved. So the first thing we do is we're often texting before the ride begins, just to make sure everything's good. But once that bike leaves and once they have the exchange, we are texting both the renter and the owner. We're making sure the exchange went well, the bike is running well, everything's going okay. We encourage the rider to reach out to the owner and just check in and tell him the bike's running well, he's having fun. So we have a guy on our team, Nick. Nick literally is reaching out to every single rider and owner on this site every day. And if there ever is an issue, everybody knows who to contact. I mean, they go right to Nick, and and we take care of any issues. So he's a single point of contact for the whole company.
Wow. How many people are at Twisted Road?
We got 3. It's me and 3 others, so 4 people total. 2 of them are basically it's between a community manager. We have someone doing some web design, some back-end coding, and also some digital marketing as well. So we've got and customer service. Everyone's wearing more than one hat these days.
Yeah, that's the usual startup gig, right? I mean, there's absolutely no chance the desks are in your garage.
Yeah, exactly. It's busy, but it's great.
So now, are there bikes that you kind of look at and sort of say, no, probably that doesn't belong? I mean, how much do you vet what people put up there? Is it kind of like, so
Nick looks at every single bike that comes across our desk. And Nick also does the review of the bikes and decides whether or not we're going to approve them. There are some bikes that don't meet our kind of written standards, which is we don't take scooters, dirt bikes, or trikes. If it's got to go on the highway, it's got to be street legal, and has to have 2 wheels with one exception. It can be a 2-wheeled moto with a sidecar. Okay. We'll do sidecars. And then once you get past that hurdle, there are certain things that we look for, but really what we're looking for is a safe machine and a committed owner. And if we get those 2 things going, we're off to the races. And there's a lot of different things that Nick is looking for just to make sure that the owner's committed.
So you guys wouldn't accept a Harley trike?
We would not. That's right. And we get requests for that all the time. We have both requests for owners to list them, and we have requests for riders to ride them. And we just don't do it. We don't do slingshots. None of that.
So what leads you to not doing those particular things? Is it just to kind of set yourself apart from what else is out there in the rental business, or is it there's extra
we
problems?
We are a motorcycle company. We build the community around motorcycle riders, and I don't understand.
Angry trike riders and go.
Well, I've only been riding for like 3.5 years, so I'm new to it. And I'm learning about the culture, and I'm loving it.
Whoa!
But I don't know anything about the dirt bike culture.
Wait.
Yeah, go.
Roll it back.
You have been riding a motorcycle yourself for 3.5 years.
August of 2015 I started.
And it just seized you enough as a passion that you had to start your own business in it.
I had to. It was a huge problem
did you start out
in the
on,
industry.
Man? This dude's in with both feet.
What'd you start out on?
I told you, it's my only bike, this Moto Guzzi V7 Classic.
Oh, that's okay. You've only had one bike.
It's the bike.
I took a learn to ride class. I learned to ride, passed the test on the DMV, and I think it was either that day or the next day I bought the bike and moved on.
Todd, I understand now. I understand what he's doing. His wife will only let him buy one bike.
Yeah. By the way, you're right. I was on the 2019 Indian Scout. That bike is so dope. It's amazing.
That's why this company exists.
This is garage enhancement.
I was telling her, this is my garage. You're looking at my garage. I have 1,200 bikes in it.
Okay, dude, I must admit, nicely played.
That is clever. That is clever. You, sir.
I'm probably the most avid renter on our site. I think I've rented 8 or 10 bikes by now.
Several people call him profit margin.
He did all this. Just so
Well,
you can ride more bikes.
So now this actually brings up a question, because I look at what you've got here. I look at like the rental companies, and like, you can rent something which is possibly exciting, possibly probably not.
Yeah.
And the rental companies, a lot of the time you have to you set it up beforehand, and it's like a couple of days before you go on the trip. How much time ahead do I need to be planning on? Because I'm thinking of cases where I'm stuck somewhere for a couple of days, picking my nose, and I'm like, fuck this, I want a bike. What are my chances?
Right now, you can't rent the same day. Let's start with that. That's a limit we have on the site that we will unlock one day when we're ready.
Yeah.
But you can't rent the same day. You can rent 24 hours in advance. But we encourage people, the minute they're thinking about renting, to just rent the bike that they want. And the reason we encourage that is for a few reasons. Number one, we have to make sure the bike is available. Some bikes go to the shop every now and then for maintenance. Some people take vacations and just haven't blocked it out on their calendar. So things happen. So
some bikes explode into flames at 85 miles an hour on I-15.
Yeah. So
not hypothetical.
Anyway, no, it's not. It's not. So, if you get your rental in, we can at least make sure the bike is ready.
Sure,
and by the way, people think, well, what if I want to cancel? How does that work? Well, we offer 100% money back, cancel at any time policy.
Okay.
So, if you're on the road and you're like, man, I'm going to Vegas for AIMExpo and I really would like a bike next week, just put it in there, rent it. And then you can always change your mind and pull back. We'll give you all your money back. We'll refund your card immediately.
Wow.
There's really no risk to getting a bike through our site. If you change your mind, if there's weather, if you get there and the bike doesn't look safe, or you sit on the seat and it doesn't feel comfortable, just cancel it. We'll find you another bike, or we'll give you your money back.
Nice.
So now what's the profile of people renting stuff? I mean, are you pretty typical and you have the one bike you rent, or is it most people they have their primary dirtbag machine and then they rent out their secondary machines?
The primary person is somebody who's traveling for work or leisure and just wants to get on a bike.
Okay, but I'm talking in terms of the people renting out the bikes. So yeah, renting the bike is somebody wants to rent.
Renting out. Yeah, it's kind of a mix. Sometimes you have people with just one bike, and they're thinking about selling it, but they're like, you know what? Let me put it on Twisted Road for a little while and see if I make any money, because I don't ride it that often.
Sure.
Some people have more than one bike, and it's really interesting watching them, because as people list their bikes, we'll often hear someone say, oh, you can take my Sportster, but not the Ultra Glide. Okay, fine. And then, so they list one bike, and then they get a rental, and everything goes well. They meet the guy. The guy's awesome, who rents from them. Good experience. And 48 hours later, he gets paid. The money's in his account. Then what happens is we see the Ultra Glide listed. It just happened. It's so funny, and it happens all the time. We'll see one bike on there, it gets rented, the guy gets paid, 3 more bikes, and the same guy gets listed. So
that's cool.
They just need some comfort that it's okay, and we're legit, and we're going to stand behind our business. I mean, we've got an A rating by the Better Business Bureau. I mean, we're doing everything we can.
Yeah, and I can sympathize, because there's a part of me that's like, I'm terrified of the idea of renting my bike. I'm antisocial by nature. And I'm like, oh God, somebody's gonna touch my bike. I mean, granted, one of them's blown up, so who cares? But the idea of somebody messing around with my bike, I'm like, ew, yuck, oh,
right,
get off.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, I would never put my house on Airbnb.
Yeah,
I'm the first person to say I would never do that. I don't want anybody in my house. And yet I've stayed in other people's houses through Airbnb. So the sharing economy hits people in different ways, and you don't have to put your bike on here to rent someone else's. It's just an option.
Right. Now, one of the things
we throw you some money. If you put your bike on our site, we throw you money once it's approved. We give you $25 to use on anyone else's bike.
Cool. So I was going through the site earlier, and you guys talk about you get you review someone's motor vehicle report when they apply to rent a bike. Yeah,
wow, you really got into the bowels of the company. You're okay. Yeah, there's something called a motor vehicle report or an MVR,
So are you
every
just
single
like
time
calling DMVs all over to get this info, or?
we have a link that goes to every state's DMV, and when you put your driver's license number in and you go to pay, our system immediately connects to theirs and just checks to make sure you have a non-suspended motorcycle license.
Okay.
If you do, it goes to the next step in our process. But
Okay.
that probably takes about 3 seconds or 2 seconds. It's fast.
Are you checking for anything else on that report, or is it just to see if the license is valid?
Right now, we're just checking motorcycle endorsements and validity and not suspended.
Okay.
In the future, we're going to be checking for some other things. We have some new things coming in the next 3 to 5 months, and we'll be checking for those as well.
So here's a monkey wrench for you. What about Utah? Because our licenses are not necessarily for all sizes here. So it's possible to have an M6 and you're not legal to ride anything above 650. He's like, oh,
I
shit.
have to look and it's a good question. I don't know the answer. I have to look and see how our system works.
Is
in
Utah unique in that?
I don't know of any others off the top of my head.
I
but
mean, I know they do it
be.
in Europe and England, but I don't know about here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, time to shut the company down, Austin. You're done.
Yeah, it's over. You found a chink in the armor.
Damn you, Todd.
I ruined everything.
Well, no, because I brought up the idea of like putting the Ural up there and the GS.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the first thing my wife, who immediately in any circumstance will jump to the worst case scenario whatsoever and then have to take 2 steps back because she's envisioned the explosion of the planet. No matter what it is, it ends with the planet exploding.
Okay. All right.
So she had a lot of questions about how the owner, you know what? We need a term.
Mm-hmm.
We need a term. I can't.
It's owner. It's owner and rider. It's owner and rider.
No, it is not. Okay. It is bike lord.
Okay.
The bike lord and the renter.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is from now on.
Okay.
So say Chuck.
Okay.
So how does the bike lord get protected in the case of damage, or the bike is totaled, or the bike never comes back, or the guy steals it?
We have a guarantee. We have a guarantee on all of it. We got a guarantee on all of it. If there's damages, we take care of it. When the bike gets checked out, the owner and rider do a walk around the bike. They take pictures of any existing damage in the bike in its current condition. It automatically gets attached to the rental record in our system.
Right.
Yeah, and I guess he knows who the renter is because he's got their driving.
Right.
I've got their driver's license, a copy of their insurance card, and $1,000 credit card hold.
And and it looks like you guys, in the case of damage or accidents, you guys pay the bike lord directly, and then you go wrangle with the insurance companies.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes we'll do that, or sometimes we'll go directly to the insurance company, and then they'll pay it. It depends on how much damage there is.
Okay.
But we want it to go as fast as possible, and we want the owner to get paid a fair amount.
So the question I have now that I'm looking at the listings here is, your max payout, if I remember right, was like $15,000.
Yeah, that's right.
So if someone's got like their Ultra Glide 2018 decked out, it's something that easily costs $20,000 or $25,000.
Yeah.
What happens then?
Well, let's talk about what would happen. If the bike goes out, we're talking about a scenario here where a bike goes out, the bike is worth more than $15,000.
Yep.
And it gets totaled.
Right.
I'll tell you now that the chances of that happening, we've been around for 1.5 years. We've had thousands of motorcycle days rented. That's never happened.
Sure. But you're a business guy, so you must have thought of that.
Yeah, we will pay it up to $15,000. The owner is taking a risk.
Okay.
At that point.
Can the owner go after them for more at that point?
No, they can't, because the owner and the rider both sign an agreement when they rent with us that they are not going to go. They're not going to sue or hold anyone, any partner, Twisted Road, or not any other user liable for anything.
Okay.
So it's in violation of the terms of service.
Okay, so that's something the owner takes on themselves. They realize that, if something goes worst case scenario, then that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Hmm?
Yep.
Nice. Now, have you? what's the worst case you've had so far?
I'll give you an example of something that was a worst case scenario. Okay. It was like Halloween, last year. I'm out trick or treating with the kids and I get a phone call and a rider was riding and he hit a patch of gravel. It went down. The bike was a brand new 2018 Triumph. I don't know what the hell it was. It was maybe a Bonneville T100 or something. I can't remember.
Something spendy.
So we got the estimate on it. The frame had been bent. And then the frame is bent. The bike has been totaled.
Oh shit!
And we immediately put a claim in with the rider's insurance company. Okay, it's the first thing that happens. The rider is responsible for damages, so we go to his insurance company first.
Mm-hmm.
The owner told us that the estimate that was coming back for like whatever it was, $10,000 or $10,500, was actually $1,000 less than he owned on the motor that he owed his.
He was upside down in
loan,
it.
On his loan, he was upside down in it. Okay, he had gap insurance just in case he got into a situation like this.
Oh, good.
And I'll tell you kind of what happened along the way. The first thing that happened is we told him not to worry. If the gap insurance doesn't kick in, we'll pay him $1,000. We're going to cover it. Okay, we don't want him to have any pain with this. And he trusted us. We're going to cover the $1,000. That's the first thing. The rider felt terrible about dumping this guy's bike. I mean, terrible. So he immediately sent him the deductible for his own insurance because if they're going to pay him $10,000, they're not going to pay him $10,000. They're going to pay $9,000 because there's a $1,000 deductible. So he immediately sent the deductible to the owner, which was thoughtful.
That was very cool.
He also immediately sent the owner $500 through Venmo and said, "I feel terrible about the damage I did to your bike. So here's $500 of just kind of goodwill."
And
all
a
right,
fruit basket.
And a fruit basket.
Completely unheard of. So then the next thing you know, I'm on the phone with the owner. He's thankful for all these things, but he said, "You know what, Austin? I kind of feel like my friends are going to be like, we told you so. And I love what you're doing, and it's a great concept, and you're helping the community and everything. I just feel like I'm going to look like I made a stupid decision here,
sure,
because of what happened." And I said, "Let's step back for a second. You just bought a 2000. You just traded your 2018 Triumph in for a 2019 brand new bike with no impact. I mean, you got all the money back. You go out and buy next year's model. You're clean." And so the minute he thought about that, he's like, "Whoa, you're right. Like, I had the bike for however long, 6 months, and I basically just got a check for it, and I'm going to go buy a new bike of next year's model." So in the end of it all, everybody was pretty happy. We of course we make decisions as to who to keep on the site and who to ban from the site. Mm-hmm. The rider didn't do anything wrong. And sometimes shit happens with bikes, and we know that. So when I don't remember how it came up, but I mentioned to him, the next time you rent, we feel terrible that this happened. We'll give you $50 to go rent the next time. It's in your account. And he's like, "Oh, I can't believe you guys are letting me rent again." I'm like, "Dude, shit happens, and you were upstanding and ethical and and fair, and those are the type of people we want in the community."
Cool.
So that's kind of a worst case scenario.
So what should listeners know if they're thinking of listing one of their bikes? Like, what do you wish all the people who showed up with bikes to list knew ahead of time?
What do I wish that they knew?
Yes.
Okay. The first thing is there's no downside to listing your motorcycle. There's no risk to listing it. And the reason I say that is you will get a rental. And when you get that rental, you'll know that it's from a verified rider, and you'll see his riding experience. We make sure that everyone's riding experience is in our site. And you can then decide whether or not you want that person on your bike based on his experience.
Paranoid Coach Todd approves.
Yeah, so like I said, you put your Triumph Bonneville on there, and let's say you never get a rental. you're no worse off than, you were without having your bike on there. Or you get a rental and you start having, or you get a rental and you start having cold feet, or you're worried about the rider. You just cancel it. There's no risk, and you're completely in control as the owner. Now, let's say you put your bike up there and you say, no one's riding my bike for less than $200 a day. Well, you may never get a rental, So you have to be realistic with what you charge.
Aw.
So if you don't want anyone on your bike, then don't put it up there.
Mike is a one of a kind custom. I have several off the shelf parts. Now you must pay top dollar.
So I noticed that the bike lords have reviews about themselves.
There's 3 types of ratings. There's the rider rates the owner.
Uh-huh.
The owner rates the rider.
Okay,
and then
that was
the
my
rider
question.
the rider also rates the bike.
How does a bike lord see the review of a rider, a potential rider?
When he gets the request to rent a bike, he goes into his profile and he can click on the rider's profile and he'll see any reviews that have been written about him.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep.
Cool.
We try to make it as transparent as we can. And like I keep saying, we're not. This isn't about a one-time rental or us, making a lot of money quickly. It's the last thing that we're doing. In fact, we're not making money. I mean, it's not happening quickly.
Now,
we're building a community.
It sounds like you get a lot of return business.
Yeah, like I said, we've been up and running for a year and a half, and a lot of people just rent once when they take a vacation, like over the summer. So what we're seeing now are people who come back. They rented last March. Now they're back this March. Mm-hmm. So that's nice to see. We have a few people who travel a lot for work, and every time that they get to a new town, they rent with us instead of using a rental car, and then they get reimbursed for it from the company.
Hey, if I put 2 bikes up, do I get $50 or just 25?
25. You get it the first bike.
Okay, only the first bike. Damn it.
Yeah, but if you then post that bike on Facebook or on Instagram, you tell everybody that your bike is on Instagram, bike is on Twisted Road to rent out.
Uh-huh.
We'll throw you another 10.
Oh, nice.
You can basically get $35 real easy.
Okay. And the other $35 comes real hard.
Chuck will immediately
it comes hard, right.
Chuck will immediately squander it, renting something ridiculous and awesome.
Yeah. The other thing is if you live in Southern California, and this right now is only in Southern California and San Francisco, you get a rental on your bike, but you can't make the rental time because you're going to be working the next day or you're going to be traveling. We have an agreement now with Cycle Gear where they are remote pickup and drop off locations for us.
Oh, that is
and they'll
cool.
handle it all. They'll handle it all for you.
That's way cool.
So you just take the bike to Cycle Gear and the other dude will come get it?
Yeah, you take the bike to Cycle Gear the day before. They've got a checklist they go through, and you, instead of going to the guy's home or a local 7-Eleven to get the bike, you just go to the Cycle Gear, and they'll handle the whole exchange for you.
That's cool.
I'll be renting from Whole Foods parking lot.
I'm going to rent from the back alley.
Where I do all of my sketchy business.
The back alley behind that, the third Asian massage parlor on the left, Crenshaw and Hollywood. Just meet me there. Bring the money.
So, listeners, go and check out Twisted Road. Rent a bike or rent a bike. Either direction you choose, or both.
Be a bike lord today. TwistedRoad.com.
This has been great, guys. Thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for coming
Thank
along.
you, man. Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
So as I'm listening to this, I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't really want to rent the Bandit because I want to get it back. No, really. I mean, you rent the Ural and it's like it's not that fast, and there's a certain amount of it's people know it's a Ural and they're not going to like do anything too stupid, but you're still worried because it's a sidecar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're a little tricky to ride.
Okay.
Take the Ural and all the difficulty of riding it, quadruple the power,
mm-hmm.
and remove 100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Bandit.
Sounds good.
It's not a bike I'm going to send somebody who doesn't know sidecars off on.
So what would it take to make you feel comfortable?
I don't know. I'd have to, honestly, the person renting the Bandit would have to be somebody who like rode a sidecar regularly.
Mhm.
If they're like, yeah, my daily whip is a Ural back home, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, let's do this.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, I'd be like, whatever, okay.
Because I think I'm going to put the Ural up for sure. The
Yeah.
Ural and the
Mhm.
GS I'll put up.
Mhm.
Well,
I can't put up the scooter, unfortunately.
I could put up out of the two, I imagine the Ural would get more rentals than the GS.
I bet the GS would get some action. In fact, I was going to ask you if you were renting the GS because I know a guy who's trying to find a GS for his cousin when he comes into town.
When's he
later
coming?
This year.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but
I'll put I was planning to put both of them up.
Okay.
I just figured the Ural would probably be more of an attractive. And there's got to be other GSs for Salt Lake.
one would assume.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the Ural will probably be, because the other Ural was in Montana.
Yeah, and I'm
So-
assuming what you'll get is you get the people looking for the novelty type of deal.
So, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think it'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see the Bandit working out. But now the carp in me is like, there's at least one guy at work with a nice Beamer. It's not really my style of Beamer, but I'm like, he's getting, he's coming down near my carp strike price.
Is he selling it?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
coming down near the carp strike price.
What-
and I'm
what
like,
is it?
Interesting. It's an old RS.
RS, what's he asking?
It's not too much. I check.
What's he asking, Todd?
It's not quite carp price yet. We're not carp yet.
I'm not a carp, Todd. What's he
Yeah.
asking?
Few grand.
Few grand, Todd.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Todd?
Yeah.
Can I have his phone number?
No.
I'm going to shine the light
Why do you
on.
want an RS?
It's not so much that I want an RS.
Uh-huh.
It's so much that you're looking at an RS. Hi, Todd.
Hi. Check is shining a light on me right now. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, this could be a fun bike for me to ride sometimes. But if I carp it up and fix it up, then I could turn around and rent it. But yeah, I'm suddenly like the bikes I want to kind of carp, and I'm like not 100% sure if I would actually use it all the time, but I kind of interested in it for the novelty. I'm like, Suddenly my carp tendencies take on a new light.
Does he have it on KSL, Todd?
Don't know.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's the
because your heart isn't your heart really set on a new Strom?
I'd really like a new Strom. The
Buying a new Strom.
it's just shelling out for a new bike that I'm just so like. There's so many other things that I need and want to spend money on.
We can rent you one.
Oh shit! I don't think that's a safe rental. Then again, I didn't think riding the Goldwing would be safe, but I rode it and I was like, it's all right.
Yeah, we can rent you a new Strom.
Great. Yeah. Okay. Can I just take this rental to the Suzuki dealer and just like buy one there and then bring it back to you, and then you can ride on the back of your bike back to the Suzuki dealer? And
What?
I don't know. It all got weird. The logistics got complicated.
I used your bike as a down payment.
Sorry, bro.
But check out this sweet Strom. You can totally ride it when you want to.
Bro, I'll let you ride it on alternate weekends.
Don't tase me, bro.
But yeah. I'm like, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that so I can have my third bike that I'm not really sure about, and kind of cycle through it. Do I like it? Does it rent? Maybe I'll rent it. Not sure. And like he's talking about I'm thinking of selling it, but I don't know yet.
Your third bike. Where are the other two? The scooter and what?
Scoot and the Bandit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Forgot about one of those.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there's a pile of Strom, which, by the way, we have a job to do coming soon.
Well, yeah, we're gonna
We have to take the Strom on its final trip.
like take it out to the middle of the salt flats and light it on fire, right?
I figured we'd just take it to the junkyard so I can get a little money out of it.
My idea sounds cooler.
Yeah, but I have to go and pay homage to the ultimate carp. Also, we need to bring recorders to interview him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The carp lord.
Bill's Boneyard on the west side, where the carp lord resides. I'll show up and we'll give the carp salute to each other. The eyeballs popping out.
I'm gonna be like, I gotta go. Locking the car door. just driving away.
I bow before you, carp lord. In your mighty carpness, your carping is that by which all the rest of us are judged and found wanting.
I'm really uncomfortable with this. I'm just picturing a giant carp wearing a straw hat in a little shack
Surrounded by old bikes.
with a walking stick that he drags himself around with.
You have come at last for wisdom. Glump, glump.
Hello, young Todd. Come inside. Let us feast on mud and sand bugs. I don't know. Whatever the shit that's on the bottom of a fucking water.
Whatever comes down from above.
I'm very uncomfortable with this. I don't know if I can handle two of you.
No. This guy's cart powers are incredible. This guy's cart powers are as far beyond me as I am beyond you, Chuck.
I don't want to be a carp. I have no interest in being a carp. You see, Todd, and this is going to happen to you really, 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 really soon.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're past 40,
Mm-hmm.
you become less of a carp
I see.
because you realize you're going to die
Mm-hmm.
soon,
Mm-hmm.
probably tomorrow. So, you want to have a nice thing
Mm.
for a little 2 minutes before you die.
Oh, okay. Where the minivan gets me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you are turning 40.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll buy you a bike rental for your birthday.
Ooh.
Would you
That'd
like
be
a bike rental?
That'd be a
Todd?
genuinely awesome birthday present.
Get you a bike rental.
Hmm.
Something. What's the bike you hate?
Well, if you want to give me something really nice, if you find like a white Hannigan classic, it's just lying around. Silver Hannigan Bandito. Just send that along.
Sounds a little not hypothetical.
Because I'm looking, I'm trying to carp up a sidecar, which is always a dodgy proposition because old sidecars come in a lot of different ways, and they can be real old.
Is this a porcelain bathtub? Yes,
is this a water heater? Maybe.
Possibly.
But like I'm like, I'm still torn of put a new sidecar on the Bandito or something else, and then I start getting it in my head. I'm like, I could get really like a rocket and put it on it. And then I realize I'm like, what if I got a Bandit 1250? Because I love the Bandit engine. God, I fucking love that engine. Like a little more engine with fuel injection and like a windshield.
Because fuck
A
carbs.
native windshield.
Yep.
And then like a nice sidecar on it. Like that would be a fucking kick-ass. You could tour, you could rip like fucking rock.
Yeah.
So I'm like, interesting. So I'm not in any great screaming hurry, nor do I have anything resembling the money to do so right now. But
And you're almost 40.
I'm almost 40.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do for my midlife crisis, Chuck? I already ride motorcycles like literally all the time.
I don't know. I had mine at 30.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I've got it. Maybe I'll go buy something really sensible. I'm gonna get wood floors, Chuck. That's my midlife crisis.
You want me to tell you what the midlife
Fucking
crisis
wood floors.
is?
What's that?
I will share with you what the midlife crisis is.
Mhm.
Now that I am on the other side of it,
Mm-hmm. You come through and out the other side. Yeah.
I know what it is.
What is it?
You wake up,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have like any weird, like, oh, I'm going to die moment.
Mhm.
It's nothing like that. You wake up and just one day you're like, you know what? I don't have enough experiences in my life. I want more experiences that I haven't had. That's all it is. So, for me, learning to drive a stick shift was part of my midlife crisis.
Okay. Fair
Shut up.
Proceed.
That, stuff like that.
Relatively simple. It doesn't have to be the big grand.
Some of them are big grand. Like, what else was my midlife crisis? Oh, the combat airplane thing in Vegas.
Mhm.
That was definitely part of my midlife crisis.
Mhm.
You want to collect experiences because you realize as you're getting older, that's really all you have.
Because stuff goes away.
Stuff goes away. People, your daughter, your kids, they grow up, they change, they become their own people.
Mhm.
They drift away from you.
I tell you, you're lame.
It's not even that. It's, we joke about that,
Mhm.
and it's not that. It's right now where your kids are, it's really amazing because you are such a big part of their lives.
Mhm.
I think it's fair to say their lives kind of revolve around you,
Mhm.
or your life revolves around them.
Sure. Yeah.
As they get older, that happens less and less.
Mm.
And you start having to like look for things to connect with your kid with, because their personality starts, my kid's 10. She's 10. She's only 10. But she's already at a point where there's like her personality has diverged. Her interests have diverged.
Mhm.
Things are different.
She's got her stuff.
She's got her stuff. And you're just not as close to that. And you kind of, there's a lot of times where I look back and I'm just like, God, I wish she was still a toddler, because it was really cool then. Or even if she was like 5 or 6, it was a lot cooler. But so you start realizing these memories, these experiences you collect, those are the things that are really, really important to you. And so you start, like, oh, I've never done the scuba diving thing. I mean, look at all the shit I did when I was like mid or after my divorce, because that's when I think when I really hit my midlife crisis.
Mhm.
I went scuba diving. I flew a plane. I did the combat air thing, so I flew a plane twice. I got into a submarine. I got into there was like some driving thing I did. But I'm just doing all these.
You're doing stuff.
Doing stuff, yeah, because that's what you kind of kick into overdrive of like doing things. And that becomes your stereotypical midlife crisis. Like, oh, what'd you do? Oh, I went out and rode a 19-year-old for a while. All right, okay.
Well, what have you learned this week, Chuck?
Sometimes I can be serious.
I've learned that sometimes you're really, really insightful.
Those times are few and far between.
And they freak me out a little bit. So that's all we got time for this week. Until next time, I'm Todd.
And I'm Chuck.
Ride safe, everyone.
We'll see you next time.
You can contact us at wheelnerds@gmail.com or leave us a message at area code 801-917-4136.
Record an intro for our show of you and your bike, and maybe it'll be on a future show.
Stickers and other merchandise is available at our website, www.wheelnerds.com.
If you use iTunes or Stitcher, please leave a review for us. Hell, write our URL on bathroom walls if it helps.
If you like this podcast, you can find more like it at wheelnerds.com. This has been a Wheelnerds production, all rights reserved. Readings from other sources are the property of their respective owners and are used with satirical intent.